on, good people? Y'all know what time it is, man. Look, this is the BOTB Live Show. I am one half, 50% of that BOTB Live Show. Jay Walker the third. That's my brother, my partner, my co-host. What's happening with you?
Ain't shit, man. It's the hump day happy hour tapping, bro. We closer to the weekend. Good Friday coming up, so I'm all work Friday. So yeah.
Hey, all of that good talk, man. We've been having some difficulty over the last, couple weeks, man, dealing with some technical issues, website issues, equipment issues, life issues. Things happen, but we still be out here, man. Don't think for a minute that we going somewhere. And we ain't.
I was thinking about that too the other day, man. I be feeling bad we had issues, but I started paying attention to other podcasts, and they be having some fucked up issues too, and they got all the equipment and all the people, so it started to make me not feel as bad. I still be feeling bad when the internet don't be wanting the internet, but it's just the two of us.
Because the internet is definitely gonna do what the fuck it do.
Yeah.
Man, what you think about this Blue Origin space flight with these ladies?
Yeah, I caught a small glimpse of it. Dude was saying he showed it was a TikTok video. The dude showed when it landed, the girl come out the door, and then they were like, "Hey, hold on," and Jeff
Right.
Bezos wanted to open up the door. If you look at it, never mind. Like, I don't want to sound sexist or nothing, but like all the women don't look like they want to go to outer space.
Katy Perry, Gail King, Lauren Sanchez, Aisha Bowe, Amanda Nguyen, and Carrie Ann Flynn. Those are the ladies that embarked on the Blue Origin trip to space, 67 miles into the stratosphere. Supposedly, it didn't last that long. It didn't last that long. I don't remember hearing a lot about it. You know what I'm saying? I knew Jeff Bezos, they had done it before. I don't remember their shit being that quick. But, what do I know?
I mean, how long were they scheduled to be up there? How long were they up there?
I think altogether it was like 18 minutes. It's kind of like they flew up and floated down. It's kind of like what it seemed like happened.
Got a quickie in, huh?
They stuck the head in
Yeah.
and pulled it out slow.
How you tell people you went to outer space for 18 minutes?
Bruh, this is what I say. If they in fact went into outer space, I'm not knocking them. That's not a trip I want to make.
But don't you got the train to go? Don't you got a train to go out of space?
Man, look, space in general has been the source of a lot of conspiracy. Apollo 13, if you the first man to walk on the moon, how the camera get there, like it's a lot of crazy things that go on. I don't have enough knowledge to say if those women did that or not. Going with the idea that they did it, kudos to you ladies. I don't know what else to say. The country is in turmoil, so if people feel a certain kind of way, like I seen Gail King trying to respond to critics about, them thinking like the general population kind of going at her with all the things going on. You just did some rich people shit, and we not really that happy about it. I kind of get that from the people, you know what I'm saying? But what the fuck is Gail King's responsibility to all the people?
I mean, true, but like you said, there's other stuff that people should have their focus on. It's one of the things that just get lost into the information we perceive and the information they want to give us.
Right, right. I feel like Gail is not more responsible for the state of the country than our government. You know what I'm saying? So people being mad at Gail for doing some shit that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't, like I said, I don't get the hate, man. Like when you listen to the mass, that's the one thing about social media that always bothered me and is always gonna bother me is that you can wake up and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But if you do that shit on camera, somebody gonna say how you fucked it up.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of that, I don't mean to slide over nothing different, but you were just saying once in a lifetime. That goes back to the Nelly Snoop shit. Nelly said the only reason why he performed for Trump because the president asked him. He said he would have. He never thought.
That's what you want to go back to? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like it's like one of the things. He said it's a once in a lifetime shit. I don't mean to go there.
Yeah, going to space is definitely better than performing for any president.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of going into space, I just feel like rich people have this desire to do the shit that's exclusive to really rich people. Now, you want to bring up some old shit. There was them really rich people that wanted to get in a submarine and go to the bottom of the ocean.
I think there's some more trying to do that.
Y'all can have that shit. If God wanted me in space, he would put me in space. He ain't gave me that message yet. He don't want me at the bottom of the ocean either. He don't barely want me on the beach at the ocean.
Yeah. He definitely don't want me on the beach. Well, he want me on the beach. He don't want me in the ocean because all the shit that's in the ocean, we ain't cool. Nah, but I think that's the whole thing with rich people. Like, y'all could do other stuff that regular folk find that would help society, and y'all choose to do rich people shit and waste money. And for the people in the ocean, I mean in the submarine, I ain't gonna say it, but I ain't gonna say you wasted your life, but you gambled with your life when you could have just went to Chicago on the east side and uplifted a community.
I guess it don't do the same. Like, so if the submarine people would have did that shit and nothing would have happened, they would have came back, in A1 tip top condition, you would have more people doing it. It's the same thing as motherfuckers climbing Mount Everest. I watched a movie, a true story on Mount Everest a couple weeks ago. There's no reason that I can think of that I would want to walk 15,000 miles straight up, jumping over caverns at negative 50, 60, 80 degrees. There's nothing in it, no matter how much money, that shit would never cross my mind. You know what I'm saying?
There's also training aspects that go into going up Mount Everest. Ain't no rookie gonna do that. These people are just rich people that say, I'm gonna get in the submarine and go down, as they say, with an Xbox controller or an Atari controller. Like, there's no trainer. Mount Everest, you're not gonna be no amateur and just say, I'm about to go climb this mountain.
This is true. True. But it takes a lot of money to do that. That was the one thing in the movie that I didn't even realize. That by the time you pay all the people, get guides, get equipment, you probably talking 50, 60, 70,000.
For a rich person, that ain't nothing. They do that you go gamble out in Vegas.
I would just assume give 20,000 to a soup kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I say too. I say that.
I would give 20,000 to a soup kitchen. Whatever it is, man, it's your money. You do what you will with it. But if you expect the general population of people to clap their hands because you spent your money in what they think is a crazy, foolish way, that's not something that you're gonna win.
Definitely.
That's not a popular thing that you're not gonna be popular with the people because you did it.
True. Trying to find this story real quick because it was a crazy story. The man in California, a homeless man, scratched off $1 million ticket. But the crazy thing is, he told the store manager he won $500,000. And the store manager said, "Nah, you want $1 million," and then drove him to cash it in.
Oh, that's good on the store owner, because the store owner gonna get his cut. That's why.
Yeah.
So, there was a story similar to that where the store owner tried to shit the person. You know what I'm saying? Saying that they won, tried to give them a couple $100. It was like she might have won 50,000, and he tried to say she won and give her 500 and take the ticket. It was something crazy. You will never get to heaven like that.
Yeah, let me credit. It wasn't fine. He thought he won 100,000.
Okay.
The homeless man thought he won 100,000. Really, $1 million.
I would hope that he was one of those down on his luck homeless people, and not a lifetime homeless person with a drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know that just giving somebody a large lump sum of money, that don't do nothing to save them people.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And 500,000 after he get taxed, he probably gonna walk away with 288 or something like that. That's not going. That's depending on how old he is. That's not gonna last him for the rest of his life. But it does get him off the ground,
especially in Cali.
Right. Oh, I would definitely take that 288,000 and move to Kentucky. Move to Ohio, move to anywhere but California. I'm getting the fuck out of California.
Okay, speaking of Kentucky, this white man today, I was Dollar Tree. Nah, it caught me off guard, but I was very social. Like, I'm in line, there's an old white man, so he in another line. But that line, the cashier on my line yelled at him, say, "Come to this line," because he about to close. That other line about to close. So he come over and I just waved him on to get in front of me. He was like, "Thank you." And he said, and he loud too, old people loud. He probably like in his 80s. Dollar Tree full of black folk though. He said, "Thank you." Then he looked, then he turned, he said, "You a Columbia boy?"
Oh shit.
And I was like, "I've been here for a while." He was born here. And I was like, "Nah." Then we started talking about other stuff. And then he was like, he asked me about something. And I said, I grew up in Irma. And he brought up Tom Knox, the football coach at Dutch Fork. And went on to talk to me for about 5 minutes. And before he left, he said, "Hey, you have a good day." Like, he was, but it was just a point. He said, "You a Colombian boy?" So when he said it, the black cashier lady on the that was walking by, some other black people, they just look up. In my head, that's what I'm feeling. I feel like everybody looking. But I didn't take it to heart. But when I walked out that store, I should have cut this old white man out. Then I'm in the car. I'm trying to rationalize, like, I done said Georgia boy. I done said Florida boy. I done said, y'all boys. I think I done had some people say, "Man, you a Colombian boy." Like, I done had black people say that to me. But this old white man saying that in these days and times, I was just like, I wonder if he was. But then he was social, like he was really talking. And then he like, "Man, have a good day," and all that. Was the whole point.
I understand why you was conflicted immediately.
Yeah.
I understand why you looked around at your peers. Because in this climate, we know some YT people that have been on bullshit.
Yeah.
As a reasonable thinking man that just wants to go home, he 80 years old. It's not giving nobody a pass, because I ain't got no pass to give. But at an 80-year-old white man can think of hella more offensive shit than Carolina boy.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I feel you. I feel you. The good Christian raised by your mama self, you kind of checked it. And I think if he had gotten nasty or said some
Yeah,
more questionable shit, you probably would have went on.
yeah.
But you don't have nothing to gain by beating up an 80-year-old white man. You feel me?
Like I said, I don't know how we got. I can't remember how because the shit was still cycling through my mind. I don't know. He asked me, and I just said I grew up on the Irmo side. I was like, yeah, I went to Dutch Fork, and he was like, and he just started spitting off about Tom Knotts and Dutch Fork, and like we was having a real conversation. He was like, yeah, he came from Charlotte, so, and I was like, yeah. He like, they been winning and all. I was like, yeah. And then when he checked out, he was like, hey, you have a good day and all that. But when I got, I was this white man said, Columbia boy.
This is where we got to stop and give a PSA to white folks. This is another thing that y'all will never understand about what it is to be a black person in this country in 2025. Y'all don't think about the things that you say because you know that racism towards you, it don't get us no motherfucking where. We can say all the crackers is honkies, peckerwoods, pink toes. We can say all that shit, and you can still go into the bank and get a loan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the duality of walking the streets as a black man in this world, is all the frustration that we have because there are white people that mess over black folks and say crazy shit. I get exactly how you felt, and I have been in situations where you gotta like, I'm looking for one more context clue before I get on your ass. I need confirmation. You know what I'm saying? Because, and then the PSA to black folks is, you don't have to argue with these crackers neither.
Yeah.
You don't, unless you feel it in your soul to move some furniture, you don't have to argue with these folks neither. But that's crazy. That's crazy. I've told a story a million times where I went to a bookstore to find a book in the middle of a daggone storm. Apparently, it's raining buckets, that good Forrest Gump rain, splashing up from the bottom type shit. And me and this lady walk out the store. It's dark as fuck. It's raining hard as shit. And me and this lady come out the store, and we sitting under the sign, outside, under the awning. We not getting rained on, but we got to walk to our car. And this rain is not going to let up anytime soon. And we have a little discussion about that. The lady says, well, I'm going to go for it. She steps off. She's going to her car. And I'm like, well, ain't no point in me standing here. I step off. I'm going to my car. This lady has parked on the same aisle as me, but farther away from the store. So I don't know if she can hear me, but she knows I was back there. You know what I'm saying? If she's terrified for her motherfucking life. Now, at this point, who I am right now, I don't give a fuck about your fear because I have a right to be here too. But as a black man, I have to consciously digest whether or not this lady is going to pull out the daggone pew-pew because she feel like I might be getting ready to do something to her. I'm a man of a certain size, of a certain complexion. You know what I'm saying? No matter what story is going to get told, if they find my body in this parking lot, she going to be right. And that's crazy for black people to have to deal with in 2025.
It's like you got to wake up thinking about that. You go to sleep thinking about that. You got to be conscious about what you do. And I understand people be like, shit, He deserved to be here and all that shit. But now, okay, get mine still won because shit, jail ain't no place for nobody to be. Even if you win the case, nobody want to be locked up for 2-3 hours. Nobody want to be locked up for 5 minutes trying to tell your story. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I don't know, man. Shit been crazy, man. Like, have you seen anything on this Carmelo Anthony shit?
No. The reason why I didn't is because when I first started hearing about it, they were people, Carmelo Anthony, basketball player, and I was just like, ain't no way. So then I heard, I flipped through TikTok and somebody was just saying it's not the basketball player. Then by that time I was like, man, I'm not even interested. I shouldn't say that, but it's just how shit just take off.
Right.
And
it's definitely. I definitely agree. There's certain stories, there's certain things that you're gonna see on the internet. You're gonna be like, I'm not dealing with this shit. Like, just for example, you know how long it took me to figure out about Charles and Netta?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. You probably know who it is because it's those things that take up time in internet land. You feel me? But there's certain things that's gonna happen. And it's not comparing this Carmelo Anthony thing to it. I'm gonna give him a couple more details because I don't have that many. But like I said, there's certain things that happen on the internet, and you be like, man, am I gonna rabbit hole this shit? Is this the shit that I'm gonna rabbit hole? And you just gotta make different choices. But the Carmelo Anthony thing is this young black kid is at some type of event. And I haven't seen any footage or anything like that. But essentially, he gets into a confrontation with these two white boys. And they some good size, rugged white boys from Texas. And they been fucking with him. They get into some type of altercation. Allegedly, Carmelo is like, hey, just leave me alone because I'm not going to let y'all beat me up. Leave me alone. Let me go about my business. And of course, they fuck with him anyway. And he stabs one of them and they expire. They pass away. He was in jail on $1 million bond. And then just earlier this week, or maybe at the end of last week. No, that was this week. Earlier this week, they dropped his bond from $1 million to $250,000. So I don't know if the visuals have come out or whatever on the case. I haven't seen anything, but I also haven't gone to look for it. But for them to drop that bond from $1 million to $250,000, he probably has a good case of self-defense.
Definitely so. And then it was in Texas too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm just saying. And I understand everybody has survival instinct, survival mode, bro. You not thinking about going to jail if motherfuckers trying to whoop you. If you feel threatened, whether you right or wrong, if you feel threatened, hey, motherfuckers need to leave people alone.
Of course, you don't condone any violence, but I'm always gonna support self-defense. If I walk down the street every day, I have to walk down the street. And every day I gotta walk by your motherfucking house. And every day you jump on my ass, beat my ass around the corner. You do this shit every day. How many beatings am I supposed to take before I even the odds? Some people will say not one. You shouldn't have to take one ass beating to even the odds. So again, this is alleged. This is not any concrete information. You need to look into the incident yourself. Is Carmelo Anthony with a K, not a C like a basketball player. And I think it's Austin Reeves is the victim or something like that.
He's a basketball player too.
I mean, it's Austin something. It may not be Reeves. But either way, not the famous New York Knicks Denver Nugget Carmelo Anthony. just another young black man that is dealing with a system where every day we have to question, even when white folks is dead ass wrong, we have to go through the checklist of making sure that we are able to articulate, potentially defend whatever allegations. You know what I'm saying? We are never given the benefit of the doubt. And that's just some shit that allies understand. There are some allies that understand that. But just generally speaking, most of these motherfuckers don't understand. And there's a small percentage of them that do understand and don't give a shit. They don't think we deserve no equality. So,
so what do you think about Edwards and the baby mama situation?
Checkmate, bitch. I'm gonna give it to you raw. I don't mind playing devil's advocate. We was playing footsie or whatever, and sometimes you can get pregnant playing footsie. You say you don't want to get, you say you want to have a baby. I say I do not want to have a baby. You say the hell with what I think, you have a baby anyway. I say, well, I'm not really for that shit. I'm rich and I don't have to deal with that shit. So we'll go to court and I will ask the judge how much is gonna make, how much is it gonna take for me to not have to deal with some shit that I said I ain't want to deal with. Cause I'm rich. Now, I mean, he's broken. He may break this woman, but part of me says that woman was already broken because you had an adult conversation. The child should not be affected by it. Maybe he's young. Maybe he'll turn his opinion around or whatever. But is he wrong? Nah, he ain't wrong.
I mean, and what did he cop up, $1 million?
Nah, it's like, I think it was like 20. That he just signed like 300 million. So to give her $18.1 million, if he really stand on that shit and he do it like that, you can say whatever you want about his character. He didn't leave that baby homeless. He didn't leave that baby strapped.
That's what I said. I said he young. Shit, Steph Curry on his what? He about to be on his second max contract.
Right.
He gonna make another $500 million. It's not about the money, and people attacking him. But it go the same. What if he was broke and he wasn't in the kid's life? The kid won't have nothing. I mean, I'm not justifying what he did, but there's some dudes that wouldn't even have done that. And
I didn't do it. I didn't do it, so I don't have to feel guilty about my opinion of what he did.
Yeah. I'm in my kid's life. That's all I'm doing.
Like I said, if he would have been like, nah, and he did a whole bunch of shit to be like, he ain't taking her through hell, he ain't talking about no DNA test, and I'm sure all that shit happened, but he's not dragging her on social media. He said what he said, and he meant it, and you thought you was gonna change it.
Yeah, that should speak more about her than him. For him just to be like, here, have the money. I don't know how many baby mamas. I think they said he got other baby mamas, but this is public, and for him to be like, here's the money, don't contact me, no nothing. That's right. More about her than anything.
It's definitely something. I mean, some people say, well, he chose her, he laid with her, she. I don't really give a damn about that. It's somebody across the street that thinks that she's a good woman who is taking a man through hell behind a baby. He's basically saying, you trying to get out on me for some money. Well, here's the money. Now what?
And he ain't getting no increase. I'm giving it all up front. And he can circle the block and come back and be in his kid's life. He just want to end it with her.
Nigga, I have a baby for that nigga for $18.1 million, nigga. No pause. Either way, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's also he's probably not the only one to feel like that. And it's just not enough people that are wealthy enough to make them kind of calls.
No, he just
Again,
smart enough. I think he was smart. He probably went to his manager. He probably talked to somebody and said, "Hey, give it all up now and be good later." And that's what he chose. Other people would have been like, "Man, I ain't giving up that money. You know, people, I ain't giving up the money. I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna get a reduction." Bruh,
yeah, he ain't doing none of that.
He ain't doing none of that. Here, what you need, here is. You wanted a check, here's the check.
By order of the state of that. I just thought it was wild that, you know what I'm saying, like people will say stuff and not stand on it. He said it and he stood on it. What else you want from him?
ATL shout. Hey, he from Atlanta. He from the real Atlanta. Not Atlanta. He from the real Atlanta.
Right.
What's old girl name that had that song about Atlanta?
Oh man. I can't. Oh, Omarosa.
Omarosa. It's Omarosa?
I think it's Omarosa.
Amaretta.
Amaretta.
Yeah.
Or Alfred.
Anthony Edwards is from whatever part she was saying is the real.
Right. Just the real Atlanta, cuz.
Oh man. That's the real
APS, Atlanta Public School System, cuz.
Bruh, he be having the most regular look on his face on random shit.
Stop trying to manipulate people. I think the lesson in this is stop trying to manipulate people. You feel me? Like I said some shit that I thought was funny that you might not think is funny, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But he didn't leave her stranded. He did not leave her stranded. He thought it was about money, so he gave her what she wanted.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he can circle the block right now. He said, or the rumor is he don't want to be in the kids. Like he can, man, what? You said 24, 26? He can circle the block. As long as the Lord give him another 20 years, he can circle the block next year and see that little girl and be like, I tell you what, at least one weekend a month. Like you never know. People change. There's certain shit you weren't doing when you was young, you're doing when you're older, and there's certain things you're doing when you're older, you won't be doing when you get a little older, and vice versa, man.
I agree. Like you would hope, because it's your seed, because it's a little girl. Is that the taste that you want to leave in that little girl's mouth? Because she didn't do nothing.
Yeah, she didn't do nothing. She ain't did nothing.
But I think he leaves the door open by not dragging it out, by not talking bad about her, by just going to the court and letting the courts handle it. He leaves the door open for growth.
Man, I know they say they're not doing it or it's on the back burner, but T.I. and Boosie really do need to come with that reality show to show the black fathers, regardless of status in society, are being there for their kids. All their kids. If Nick Cannon, they say Nick Cannon do the same thing. A lot of people on Wild 'N Out showed like Nick Cannon being his kid's life. Like if we can get a reality show, it ain't gotta be a reality show. If we can get a small documentary of successful black men that have kids that's doing right by them, I think that would be something entertaining. Especially for these young kids to look up and see, I might have shit fucked up with two different baby mamas, but yeah, I can make this shit work.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen these reels, man. I don't know what the name of this shit is called, but it's like a nephew and he talking to his uncle. And when I tell you this little motherfucker is talking crazy about the older generation, like y'all was stupid for going to work for 20 years, trying to get it like that. We ain't gonna do that. We want to get our money right now type shit. And I'm gonna send you a clip of it because we definitely gonna talk about it because it has something to do with that father-son bond. But this is like an uncle and his nephew. and the nephew is a Generation Z, Generation A, young person who just has life fucked up about what the previous generations have done and how he feels like they wasted their life by going to work for these corporations or working at a McDonald's for 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? And that's the misunderstanding that we have with these young motherfuckers. We so far removed from our time that we don't even realize that they have no concept of what that is. You know what I'm saying? If you could trade places, I could trade places with 18-year-old. Take me out of my 48-year-old body, put me in as an 18-year-old. Life is different, but I can understand it. But if you took those 18-year-old motherfuckers and trumped their life up or sent their life back to 1985, they would definitely feel different. That is why it's generational. Like, you little young motherfuckers think that you got everything figured out, just rebel or not do, or I don't have to accept these conditions. You never lived it.
Yeah. You get a fire sliding about you. Man, I was listening, man, I was on my crunk music, man, and came across TikTok. I had to go down the white rabbit hole and just read the comments. People are right. These kids so quick to pick up a gun, but that crunk era, when you come in there and it is Fight Club, you paying to get in Fight Club and then do it all again the next weekend and think to yourself, bruh, that part of that club was crazy. You know you lost too. That shit was great. Like,
or no, that you can't even go back next week. I can't even walk down that street. They gonna identify me.
Yeah. But they weren't dying. You might get a butthole stomped in you, but you wasn't shooting up the club.
Nah, we can't tell them lies to them young ones. We definitely from the generation, like, we the drive-by generation, cuz. Not us personally, of course, but we the drive-by generation. So the violent shit, the gun violence shit, has been an issue that's gotten worse over time.
Oh, it's bad here now.
But at least in our time, you had to fight your way out the club. Yeah. And once you got to the parking lot,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The trunk, and get that sword all pulled.
Yeah, it's the OK Corral in the parking lot, but you had to fight. You had to fisticuff your way out the club. You feel me?
I think that's the other thing with society. You know, they're trying to make every state a gun law. I don't know if you really want. I don't know if you want damn Tyreek that got 2 9s and a 38 walking next to country white boy John that got a sawed off in the truck. Because he ain't gonna make to that truck if there's any kind of conflict between them two.
Right.
Like, it's not as equal as what people think. Some people think that black folks shoot one way and white folks shoot another way. That's not what it is. It is not what it is. But going back to what you were saying about like the violence level and everything back then was totally different. But the expectation was for you to show up to the next event or show up to tomorrow. These kids now, the violence is they doing 30 years. You know?
Oh yeah, they not old enough to even.
Yeah, but we weren't old enough then neither. Back then, when we was that age, we weren't old enough to know that. But we just know, all right, now we might get jumped, or we might have to jump somebody and to be over.
Nah, man. When I was 22 and a motherfucker was 12, I wasn't worried about a 12-year-old drawing down on me. Now I'm worried about a 12-year-old drawing down on me, cause like it's certain things that the gun culture in America is unreal. And it's a problem that these white folks blame on black folks. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. There's no reason for any one person to have 100 guns. And you got people that got 1,000 guns. You know what I'm saying? Like one person owns 1,000 firearms. Like that should be like come on, girl, you need to explain to me. And you can't just be talking about like I sell guns. I sold guns to you. So why you need 1,000 guns? Just to sell them? Nah, hell nah. You need to be able to explain. Like once you go in, you get your motherfucking you get you a couple handguns, you get you a shotgun, you get you a rifle. After that, cuz you need to have a thorough mental health check before you are able to get an automatic anything, a switch anything, a suppressor attachment.
I would say I give you at least 2 more, only for some fact. People get them as gifts because they know you're a gun enthusiast. They might give you something that, it shouldn't be fired. Or something that they knew they wanted that's modified.
What I'm saying is there should be a number of guns. Once you own a certain number of guns, they need to be talking to you. They need to be coming to you like, let's talk about this. You got 5 ARs, sir. It's 2 people that live here. You got 5 ARs. You got 8 handguns. You got 4 shotguns. You feel me? Like, come on, man. What is you on?
Whoever come to see you, we'll stop them before it get here.
Yeah, hey. All about protection, but like I said, the level of violence, the power of these types of firearms, and just on that, I mean, it's kind of Kyrie Lacey. That shit was sad, man. That shit was sad. Kyrie Lacey's LSU wide receiver, standout player. He had gotten in trouble, some kind of DUI where somebody lost their life. And then he got into another incident that ended in a police chase and him taking his life. God bless that man's family. When somebody takes their life, man, that's a terrible thing. It's not to be understood by the people that's left here, man. If you feel like hurting yourself, at least give yourself an opportunity to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I don't rightly have the hotline available for y'all, man, but it's easy to get to. If you search for it, there's a quick call from Google.
For what?
Suicide prevention.
Shit, hit us up through IG, Facebook. We'll talk to you.
Hey, like in a real way, talk to somebody, man. No matter how dark it get, that can be turned around. That can be turned around. You not wrong for feeling like you feeling, but you
don't dust your shoulders off.
You give yourself another day. Give yourself another day to fix some shit.
Yeah, nah, it ain't about the jokes, but no, that's some real shit, Dave. If you can't call the hotline, hey, reach out to our messengers. We will respond. We will respond.
I will definitely respond if it's like that. You feel me? I got time for somebody that if you don't think you should be here, I might not have the answer for you, but we can talk about it. We can try to figure out the answer.
Well, let's find out. If you don't think you should be here, well, let's talk about the people in your life now that probably gonna miss you if you're gone. We need to find something.
At least that.
Yeah, let's do something else. Real quick before we get out of here. Malaysia Fuwali. What's your opinions? That ain't the question I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you that earlier. But go ahead.
Oh no, Malaysia Fuwali. For the ones that don't know, man, she's a standout guard for you for the University of South Carolina, Lady Gamecocks. She is a national champion in women's basketball. She is a homegrown from Columbia, South Carolina.
Metro.
Who got the opportunity to go play for the Dawn Staley.
Go State.
Somehow or another, because I don't know if I even believe she was in the portal. Did you see the portal?
No. She in it though.
I feel like this. I don't have any love lost for Malaysia Fuwali if she decides that she is going to move on to another program. I personally think she should stay. Part of that is me being a South Carolinian from the Met. Part of that is me saying she owed Dawn Staley for that commitment. Dawn committed to her early in her career, and she kept her into the bargain. But there's no hate, there's no anger, there's no disappointment if she decides to go to another school. I don't think she leaves.
I hope she don't leave. I hope she tired of listening to some of these people in her ear that don't need to be in her ear. You need an inner circle and two people on the outer circle. Just keep everything in checks and balances. Don been watching you since you was in 6th grade. What make you think Don don't believe in you? Don told you with recruitment, hey, you might not play. Don told you in practice, you might not play. Don told you in practice, we gonna play some motherfucking defense. Don done told you everything she could tell you since the 6th grade about what she wants to see when you get to this platform in sports. Last year, freshman year, you did all right. Wasn't too high expectations, but you did the damn thing. You put yourself on notice. But when you put yourself on notice, you put yourself on notice. So if your defense hasn't got better, you still taking ill-advised shots, that's what Don is trying to coach you out of. Because somebody allowed you to do something does not mean that's better for you. So if you go to a team that says, all right, like, run the team how you want. We got 8 to 15 plays, but everything else is just you do what you do. That is not a way to help that player become better. The only reason why people are saying you are a generational star is because Don put that title on you. And that generational star is your offensive capability. Because you had none, you got better, and you got even better. But your breakdown on plays that go bad shows the world that of people that like athletes, that like sports. She gets stripped.
Right, you still got.
Yeah, she gets stripped. It's a slow job. When old girl hit that bitch in the corner and you 15 feet away, your athleticism make you think you can get there. You couldn't get there. You are 5'8". When it comes to defense, your size does not help. But what it does is it gives it an extra superpower because you're quick, you shift there, you move, you go to the ground. So use it. You're not pushing. I hate when she pushes her players away from the defense. If your back is at the goal, why do you push your players right if there's nobody help on the right? You push them to the left because that's where your bigs is at. You did it several times. But
essentially, there's more for her to learn. And I don't think, like I said, I feel like her and other young people, they fall victim to the glamour and the glitz and being on the top trending list for sports. You know what I'm saying? Um, you got players like Juju Watkins, who is out of this world, phenomenal athlete. Not
But why
even
is it?
not phenomenal for a girl, just a phenomenal athlete.
But let me ask you this.
However,
But if Juju was the one scoring all that, and Ogre from Florida State got more scoring power than her, how is that
no,
so?
it ain't even about that. What I'm trying to break down is you can go somewhere and you can average 25 points a game and you will be a great offensive player. That does not mean that that's going to translate to you being a great professional,
Oh hell no.
a great WNBA player. Um, it's something to be said. You gonna graduate when you 22, 23. You go to the WNBA where them some grown ass women out there. It's the same thing that we used to say when men from college, D1 athletes that were studs in college get to the next level of the NFL and they ain't a stud no more. They just one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like her taking the knowledge that Dawn is going to give her, the relationship that you have with Dawn, who is the GOAT, is you're not necessarily gonna be able to bounce back from that. People are gonna see that Dawn is this great individual, role model, coach, mother type figure. And they gonna say, oh, you pissed on her, you probably piss on us too. I don't think there's enough thought in the process. Now, that being said, maybe she just felt the need to see what the transfer portal would do. Maybe she did that to get her followers up because it's all about, you bringing your crowd, your social media presence. I don't know why. If she goes, good luck, Malaysia. You still from Colombia. I'm still going to root for you, but I don't think it's the right decision, personally, in my opinion. My opinion don't count for shit, but that's my opinion.
Like I was saying in the group text we got, if college don't work out for whatever reason and pro don't work out for whatever reason, if you stay here, you got a lifelong bag with the university. And sometimes that means more than what people think it means. When you
ask Khadijah Sessions.
And she's on the bench. There's a lot of players. Mark Latimer's on the field. Connor Shaw is good stuff. There's a lot of players that have came back to the university and just held down a job to do something, which she can do. Other thing is, you are born and bred here, so the only person they're going to compare you to is Asia Wilson for the born and bred. If you want it that easy, why did you come here from the beginning? Now you leave, Donna set a standard in your head that you got to get to. So Nia Rivers, when she left here, she knew there was a standard. Her closest time was last year at North Carolina State and didn't get it. But then there's a little thing that came out where Don said he would call her for game days just to check in. Right, that would mean something to an athlete. You can't go from playing in front of 15,000 people to playing in front of 8, 9.
100.
That's a big
difference.
All your games on TV?
Whoever told her to get in the portal, I don't know what their thought process was. I don't know what their angle was. Again, if you go, you grown. You can make that decision. It might be good for your immediate future. It might be a bag right now, but it's not gonna be the legacy. So you had Asia in front of you. We see what she did. She got pro athletes, pro men wearing her shoes. You know what I'm saying? And you got Joyce behind you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you can keep and fill out your legacy by staying. You know what I'm saying? You can become that better player if you stay. And you could become a better player if you leave.
But the reason she want to leave people saying minutes. All right, so I looked at the minute shit. I think I shared it too. She was getting 19. Ray was getting 23. I think the highest person had like 26. I think that was Power. So really, it's not many minutes out there, right? Then, if you're blowing out most teams, you're not gonna play. It's not like there's tight games. Your minutes are gonna go down. That being said, she had the most shot attempts on the team at 406, 407. Joyce Edwards was next at 360 something.
Right. And it's back to the Juju thing. Play harder, risk more injury.
Risk more injuries. I'm like everybody, I want her to come back. I hate when people saying she needs to leave, she needs to leave, she needs to leave. But shit like that's what happened to Buddy from Tennessee. Like, you can fuck yourself up by wanting to leave and not stay true to who you are. And I understand there's people that left. Haley Van Lick, she left what? Louisville to LSU to TCU. It made it work. It made it work. There's people that do it. But for homegrown talent, which has been one of the knocks on all of college sports coming out, the Gamecocks is we need to recruit from home. I don't see this as Don's fault. I don't see this as Malaysia's fault. I just see it as in the outside world's fault. Because if I'm her friend or I'm on her team, I'm telling her, like, what's the option? Do you want to go play for Kim Mulkey? You know she going to want the same shit. And probably going to say to you more disrespectfully. You want to go to the Longhorns, but they already got their squad. Like, who do you want to go to but still elevate your game for you to get it to the next level? You're only 5'8".
We gonna see. I'm not gonna say she only anything. We gonna see. I think that she stays home and it gets quieted. Like I said, I hope she does well no matter what she does. But outside of that, man, we about to get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look. This is the BOTB Live Show. I'm Jay Walker III. That's Carolina Dirt. We mean that shit, man. Reach out to the people that love you back, man. Love the people who love you back. I know we've been kind of up and down, in and out. Y'all might have missed a couple shows here and there. We still got 1,000 shows. Y'all should look at it. If you come on a Wednesday and we not on, just hit the play on one of the other shows. They probably pretty decent. You feel me? Yeah. We probably see y'all the day before Easter. Easter's on 420. I'm conflicted because I done seen some crazy jokes about 420 and Easter, man. Y'all people, y'all need to read the Bible. Don't smoke the Bible. Read the Bible. Yeah. Outside of that, man, we gone, man. We'll catch y'all next time. Be easy.